All right, moving on to our second problem. This one says, find the midsegment of a trapezoid. So I have this word midsegment and I need to figure out the formula for it. Now, if you remember any of the properties that a trapezoid has, one of them that we talked about was midsegment. So that means it's in the middle and it's a segment. It's something finite, okay? So if I'm looking at this picture, HI is going to be my midsegment. So I'm going to put HI right here. That's the one that I need to find first. All right. And this is a midsegment. And the reason why I know that is because I see those marks. HD and HE are congruent and IG and IF are congruent. That tells me that HI is my midsegment. Now the formula for midsegment goes like this. It says that base 1, so one of those bases, plus the other base, so the trapezoid has two bases, I add them together and I have to divide by 2, and that's going to give me my midsegment. So now all I have to do is actually type the information in. So does it really matter which one is B1 and which one is B2? Absolutely not. So let's just type in. I'm going to have my fraction, B1, let's consider that 13, plus B2, that's 27, and I have to divide by 2. So simplifying this, I have a fraction. 13 plus 27 is going to be 40. 40 divided by 2 gives me a midsegment of 20, and that's going to be my HI. So I'm going to put 20 right here. Now, the way to actually double check your work is to see if HI is in between 13 and 27. If HI is bigger than 27 or smaller than 13, then you did something wrong, okay? So this is one way to double check your work. And you can also see that between 20 and 27, there are 7 units, okay? And in between 20 and 13, there are also 7 units. So that tells me that I found the midsegment. It's in the middle of those two numbers. All right, let's move on to our third example. And this one says, PTVX is a trapezoid. SW is the midsegment. So immediately when you see this, you're going to actually have to label your picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say if SW is a midsegment, that means this one is congruent with this one. And I'm going to have those right here are also congruent. So VW with WX are also congruent. Now with that said, moving on, the measure of angle PSW is 125, and they're asking me to find the measure of STV. STV is going to be over here. Now, one other piece of information that's given, and of course this is one of the properties of a trapezoid, is that those two are your parallel sides. So let's actually go ahead and see if I can change this one into red so we can see a little bit better. We're going to extend this side right here, and we're going to say that this is our transversal. So I'm going to actually type right here. Now we know that a transversal is a line that actually cuts the two parallel lines and forms congruent angles. Now remember those alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding angles? This is exactly what we're going to talk about. One thing though, since this is a midsegment, that means it's also going to be parallel with the other two. So let's take a look at the red angle right here, which is 125 degrees, and this blue angle right here, which I need to find. So by looking at those two sides right here, and looking at my red transversal, I can say that angle PSW and angle STV are going to be congruent. And the reason for that is they are corresponding angles. So let's type that up. I'm going to say that the measure of angle PSW equals the measure of angle STV, and they're going to equal 125 degrees. And I need to have an explanation. So my explanation is going to be those angles are corresponding angles. And that's going to be my answer. Okay, let's move those a little bit on the side. This problem, all you needed to know is that parallel lines are formed in a trapezoid, and also that they form corresponding angles. Okay, that would be it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask me.